When the notification came on my phone, it was 9:30 in the evening. The sound that would change my life forever. I looked at the screen. It took me a few seconds to put on my glasses, that familiar delay that comes with age. I read the message. Jennifer added you to the family plans group. Jennifer, my daughter-in-law, Brandon's wife. A WhatsApp group. Family plans. Strange, I thought. I wasn't usually included in these things. Richard, you wouldn't understand these things, she'd say, with that slightly dismissive tone. Maybe she added me by mistake, I thought. Maybe she pressed the wrong button. I just wanted to take a look. I opened the group, and I read. When I read the first message, my heart raced. When I read the second message, my breath caught. When I read the third message, well, something inside me broke. It broke coldly, sharply, irrevocably. Before we continue, if you're enjoying this story, please hit subscribe and let me know where you're listening from in the comments. If this resonates with you, don't forget to like and share. There were 17 messages on the screen. 17. All from today, from the last few hours. The most recent message was from just 2 minutes ago. So right now, at this very moment, someone was writing. About me. And I didn't know until now. I scrolled up to the top. I wanted to see how it started. The first message was written at 9:19. From Jennifer. Jennifer. Okay, ladies. We need to talk about Richard's situation. It's really starting to become a problem. I stopped. My fingers froze on the screen. A strange feeling came over my chest, as if someone had pressed a button inside, punching me in the stomach. Richard's situation. Me. It was me. I was the problem. I took a breath. Deep. Controlled. I'd learned it at Boeing. Don't panic in a crisis. Stay calm, analyze, think. But this wasn't Boeing. This was my family, and I was the problem. I kept reading, because I needed to know. I needed to know everything. Sarah, Jennifer's mother. I've been telling you since day one. Old people are expensive. Nursing homes cost an insane amount of money. Nursing homes. The word lit up on the screen like a neon sign. Why were they talking about nursing homes? I was healthy. I felt fine. I went on my morning walks, looked after my grandchildren, drove my car. I didn't need a nursing home. But Sarah didn't think so. Sarah wanted to see me in a nursing home because I was expensive. My hands started to shake slightly. I couldn't control it. As the phone vibrated, the words on the screen shook and waved. Jennifer, 9:22 p.m. Brandon says his dad has at least $670,000 saved up. If we can get power of attorney before he gets dementia, we can access everything. The world spun. It really spun. The living room, the TV, the couch, everything blurred for a moment. My head spun slightly. My breath caught. $670,000. The exact amount. The exact figure. My savings. Boeing Retirement Fund. $400,000. Personal savings. $170,000. The value of the Seattle house around $500,000. But Brandon was probably only counting liquid assets. How did he know that number? I never told him. Never. I kept my financial situation to myself. It was personal, nobody else's business. Brandon must have told them. My son. My son told his wife about my financial situation. And now, what were they planning? Power of attorney before dementia. Dementia. Alzheimer's. Loss of mental capacity. Incapacitation. I wasn't demented. My memory was fine. I remembered names, dates, events. Just last week I remembered Sophia's birthday and got her a present. I knew Emma's daycare address by heart. My own phone number, my bank account numbers, my Boeing ID number. I remembered them all. But Jennifer didn't think so. Jennifer wanted to see me senile, because then she could get power of attorney. And power of attorney meant control, money, access. I kept reading, because I couldn't stop. It was like a train had derailed, its brakes failed, hurtling toward a cliff, and I could only watch. Sarah, 9:24 p.m. Perfect timing. My lawyer friend says that once someone is declared incompetent, the power of attorney holder controls everything. Bank accounts, property, investments, everything. Everything I had. 45 years of savings. The days I went to Boeing at 7 every morning. Every project, every shift, every paycheck. It would all be controlled by Jennifer, on the advice of Sarah's lawyer friend. A weight grew in my chest. It was as if someone had sat on me. It became difficult to breathe. The air in the room thickened, became suffocating. Was I having a heart attack? No, worse. This was heartbreak. Not physical, emotional, but just as deadly. Jennifer, 9:28 p.m. I'm already planting the seeds. I told the neighbors he's forgetful. Brandon's doctor friend will do a cognitive evaluation, for a fee, of course. I froze. I read it again, once more, 3 times. I waited for the words to change, but they didn't. They stood there, cold, clear, undeniable. I told the neighbors he was forgetful. Which neighbors? Who? Mrs. Miller, the retired teacher across the street? I greeted her every morning, and she greeted me. Mr. Harris, the engineer next door? We discussed gardening, lawn mowing techniques, fertilizer brands. What had Jennifer told them? Richard is forgetful, poor old man, losing his mind. And did they believe her? Of course they did. Because I was 72 years old. Because old people get forgetful. Everyone knows that. Because Jennifer was young, beautiful, persuasive, and I was just an old man. Brandon's doctor friend will do a cognitive assessment for a fee. Bribery. They were paying the doctor for a fake assessment to have me declared unfit. It was systematic. It was planned, step by step. First, rumors spread among the neighbors. Richard is forgetful. Then the doctor's evaluation. The results are worrisome. Then a second evaluation, court approved. And finally, power of attorney. A perfect plan. Project managers at Boeing would make plans like this. Critical path analysis, milestones, risk management. But this time, the project was about me. And I wasn't the project. I was the victim. The phone was shaking in my hands. Or maybe my hands were shaking and dragging the phone along. I couldn't tell. Everything was blurry, unreal. But the messages were real. They kept coming. More. More betrayal. Michael, 9:37 p.m. Brandon, how long is this power of attorney thing going to take? Because I have bills too. When Dad goes into the nursing home, we split everything 3 ways, right? Michael, my little boy. Baby Michael. When he was born in 1980, I bought him his first bike. I taught him how to balance. One summer day, in our yard, on Portland Road, I ran alongside him, supporting him, saying, "You can do it, son. I believe in you." And now he didn't believe in me. He didn't believe. He exploited. We're splitting everything 3 ways. 3. Brandon, Jennifer, Michael. 3 people. My money. 45 years of savings. To be split 3 ways. The math was simple. 670,000 divided by 3. $223,333. Each of them. Each of them. Not my grandchildren. Not Sophia and Emma. Them, Brandon, Jennifer, Michael. They would put me in a nursing home and divide my money. Tears began to flow from my eyes. I couldn't control them. I hadn't cried in weeks, maybe months. I rarely cried since Mary died. Men don't cry, I thought. Especially engineers. Especially people like me. Tough, logical, in control. But now I was crying, quietly. In the corner of the living room, the TV still on, the volume low. Tears ran down my cheeks, dripped onto my chin, onto my shirt. But I was still reading, because I couldn't stop. The strings had snapped. Brandon, 9:40 p.m. Mike, calm down. Everything is going according to plan. Jennifer set up the doctor. Cognitive test next week. Results will show concern. Then a second evaluation, this time court approved. Power of attorney in 6 months. 6 months. In 6 months, I would lose my freedom. In 6 months, my money would be controlled. In 6 months, I would be sent to a nursing home. The cheapest nursing home, the one Sarah researched. And Brandon was writing this. My son. My first child. I chose his name, Brandon, a strong name, a leader's name. This child will do great things, I told Mary in the hospital when I first held him. Great things. Yes, defrauding his father. That was a great thing. According to plan. So it was a plan. A detailed, organized, systematic plan. How long had they been planning it? Months? Years? I'd been living with them for 3 years. Had they been planning it all that time? When they said, "Good morning, Dad," every morning, what were they really thinking? When they smiled at every meal, what were they planning behind the scenes? I wanted to put the phone down. I wanted to turn it off. I didn't want to read anymore. But my hands wouldn't obey. I scrolled down. More pain. Sarah, 9:43 p.m. Think about cleaning the house too. There's that old smell in Richard's room. Ventilation isn't enough. Let's repaint the room when he goes to the nursing home. The old smell. 2 words. Simple words. But they hurt so much. My smell. Could a person be defined that way? Just a bad smell? An unpleasant smell? I showered in the mornings. Every morning. An old habit. At Boeing, we were always clean and tidy. I shaved my beard, put on deodorant, wore clean clothes. But it wasn't enough for Sarah. I just smelled. Old man smell. And my room needed to be repainted to wipe out my smell. They called my room the guest room. On the very first day, Jennifer said, "You can use the guest room, Richard." Not my room, the guest room. Because I was just a temporary guest. Temporary for 3 years. Jennifer, 9:46 p.m. You're right. It's awful that he has to share the bathroom with Michael anyway. It's embarrassing when guests come over. When Richard leaves, let's completely renovate that bathroom. Maybe a jacuzzi? A jacuzzi. A jacuzzi in my place. With my money. $670,000. I shared the bathroom with Michael. That was true. But I never complained. Not once. Michael came once a week and stayed on weekends. I tried to keep the bathroom clean. I tidied everything up afterwards. But for Jennifer, it was awful. It was embarrassing. I was embarrassing. A 72-year-old man, something to be hidden when guests came over. My tears had stopped now, because something inside me was changing. The pain was still there. Yes, a lot of it. But there was something else too. Something cold. Something hard. Anger. No, anger wasn't the right word. It was something deeper, more controlled. Resolve, perhaps, or a desire for justice. I had worked at Boeing for 45 years. I had designed systems, I had solved problems, I had identified malfunctions. And now there was a major malfunction, a major problem, and I was going to fix it. But first, I had to read everything, every message, every word. I needed to gather evidence. Brandon, 9:50 p.m. First the power of attorney, then the hot tub. Now the important thing is to convince Dad. Jennifer, tomorrow mention the doctor's appointment to him. Say routine checkup. He won't be afraid to go to the doctor at his age. Routine checkup. A trap. The doctor's appointment was a trap. Brandon's doctor friend, a doctor who would give a fake evaluation for a fee. He won't be afraid to go to the doctor at that age. They were right. I wasn't afraid, because I took care of my health. I had regular checkups. I took my medication, blood pressure, cholesterol. Doctor's appointments were normal, routine. But this wasn't routine. This was a trap. And tomorrow, Jennifer would make the offer. Richard, I've scheduled a doctor's appointment for you. Routine checkup. You need to go, and the old Richard, the Richard from 3 days ago, would agree. Sure, Jennifer, thank you. That's very thoughtful. But the new Richard would be different. There were final messages, a few more. I needed to read them all. Sarah, 9:54 p.m. Jennifer, be careful about the doctor thing. Richard is an old engineer. He might be suspicious. Take a soft approach. Say, for your health, for your grandchildren. Play the emotional card. Play the emotional card. They would use my grandchildren, Sophia and Emma. Dad, your grandchildren want you to be healthy. Go to the doctor for them. Sophia, 4 years old, brown eyes, curly hair. Every morning she'd say, "Good morning, Grandpa," and climb onto my lap. I'd read her stories, little princess stories, fairy tale books. Emma, 2 years old, she had just started talking. She'd call me Grandpa, just Grandpa, the most beautiful word, and they would use them to manipulate me. Emotional games. The last message was from Jennifer. 9:52, 10 minutes ago. It was still warm, still fresh. Jennifer, okay. I'll tell them tomorrow morning. By the way, be careful. I think Richard is trying to learn how to use the phone. I may have accidentally added him to the group, but it's okay. He doesn't even know what WhatsApp is anyway. A laughing emoji. A yellow face laughing. An emoji laughing at my stupidity. Old, stupid Richard. Richard who doesn't know technology. Richard who doesn't understand WhatsApp. But I understood. Now I understood everything. I put down the phone. Slowly, carefully, on the table, on the glass coffee table. It made a soft click sound. I put my hands in my lap. I looked at them. Old hands. Wrinkled, stained, veins prominent. The hands of a 72-year-old. But these hands had designed Boeing 747 electrical systems. These hands had drawn solutions to thousands of engineering problems. These hands were strong. They were still strong. And now these hands would fight. My name is Richard Thompson. I am 72 years old, and the story of my life has been written in numbers. 1953, year of birth. Seattle, Washington. In a modest house in a portside neighborhood. My father was a shipyard worker. My mother a homemaker. We were 5 siblings. I was the third. We grew up in an old wooden house, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. But we were happy. Poverty sometimes brings people together. 1971. High school graduation. Top student in math and science. I earned a full scholarship, University of Washington, electrical engineering. I would be the first in my family to graduate from college. College was tough. Not just the classes, the money too. The scholarship covered tuition, but books, dorm, food. Every evening I worked 3 hours in the campus library, organizing shelves, cataloging books. I earned $2 an hour. Not much money, but it was my money. I didn't have to rely on anyone. 1975, graduation, high honors. Boeing made me an offer right away. Electrical Systems Department, junior engineer, annual salary, $21,000. For me, it was a fortune. That same year, I married Mary Sullivan. I met her at the library. I was cataloging books, and she was studying philosophy. Her brown eyes, her blonde hair, her smile. Ah, that smile made me forget everything. "Hello," I said shyly the first time. I'm Richard. I see you here often. Mary, she said, I see you too. You're organizing the books every evening. You work very carefully. I'm an engineering student, I said. Attention is our job. She laughed. And that laugh, that's when I fell in love. 6 months later, we got married. A small ceremony, in a church, 50 guests. We didn't have the money for a big wedding. Mary wore an old wedding dress, her mother's, from the 1940s. It's not the dress that matters, she said. It's you. For our honeymoon, we went to a motel outside Seattle, 2 nights. There wasn't even a TV in the room. But it didn't matter. We were together, we talked, we made plans. How many children do you want? Mary asked. At least 2, I said. Maybe 3. You? However many make us happy, she said, resting her head on my shoulder. Richard, we'll be together for a lifetime. We'll have children. We'll have a home. There will be hard times, but we're strong. Together, we're strong. She was right. We were strong together. 1977. Brandon was born. Our first child. A boy. 6.5 pounds. Healthy, beautiful. When I first held him in the hospital, my hands trembled. Not from fear, but from the weight of responsibility. This baby would depend on me. For everything. Food, shelter, education, love. We'll manage, I told Mary. We'll do everything. We'll give Brandon every opportunity. And I did every opportunity. 1980. Michael was born. Our second son. Smaller, 5 pounds 9 ounces, but a fighter. He cried a lot the first night. The nurses were worried. He has strong lungs, I said. This kid is going to be a leader. 2 sons, 2 responsibilities, 2 futures. I got promoted at Boeing, senior engineer. The salary increased, $35,000, then $42,000, then $50,000. We celebrated each increase with Mary. Nothing fancy, just a special meal at home, cheap wine, cake. We're succeeding, Mary would say. We're building our family. We bought the house in 1984, Beacon Hill, 3 bedrooms, big yard, basement. It cost $160,000. The down payment was $32,000, all our savings. But it was worth it, because it was our house, our family's house. Brandon and Michael grew up in that house. They played in the garden, climbed trees, learned to ride bikes. Every Saturday morning, we'd work on projects together in my basement workshop. Brandon was more patient. He liked making electrical circuits. We'd connect little LED lights, batteries, wires. Dad, how does this work, Shun? He'd ask. Electricity, son. A closed circuit, positive and negative. When the circuit is complete, energy flows and the light turns on. Like life, it's all about connections. Michael was more active. He loved woodworking projects. We built a birdhouse together, a toy car, a small shelf. Dad, I'm going to be an engineer like you, he would say. You can be anything you want, son, I would say. What matters is that you work hard, learn, and never give up. I taught them lessons, math, science, problem solving. But more importantly, values, honesty, hard work, responsibility, family. Family is more important than anything, I would say at every dinner. Bosses come and go, jobs change, but family? Family is forever. We protect each other, always. Brandon and Michael would nod their heads. Yes, Dad, we understand. Did they understand? Really? Or were they just listening but not hearing? I worked at Boeing for 30 years, dozens of projects. The 747, 767, 777, 787. Each plane was a masterpiece, and I was a part of it. The electrical systems, the hydraulic controls, the safety protocols. I became a role model. Young engineers would ask me, Mr. Thompson, how do we solve this problem? I taught them patiently, step by step. First, define the problem. Then break the solution down into parts. Test each part. Think systemically. Think systemically. The philosophy of my life. Everything is a system. Family, work, life. And systems need rules. They need order. But some systems break down from within. 2015, Brandon's wedding. To Jennifer Sullivan, no relation to Mary, just the same last name. A big wedding, expensive. "Dad, can you help?" Brandon asked. $32,000. I know it's a lot, but Jennifer wants to make her dream come true. 32,000, half my salary. But what could I do? Say no? To my son's wedding? I paid, with my credit card. Paid it off in 6 months, with interest. The wedding was magnificent. 300 guests, a live orchestra, a 5-star hotel. Jennifer looked like a princess. White wedding dress, tiara, veil. Brandon was happy. But me, I was just the guy writing the checks. 2017, home loan. Brandon and Jennifer wanted to buy a house. Bellevue, 4 bedrooms, $800,000. I had to be the guarantor. "Just sign, Dad. I won't have to pay. The bank just wants security." I signed. I trusted. Why wouldn't I? 2019. Mary died. Breast cancer. 63 years old. Too young. Too soon. I held her hand on her last night. In the hospital. Machines hummed. Monitors beeped. But I focused only on Mary. "Richard," she whispered, her voice weak. "Look after Brandon and Michael. Don't forget them. Don't be alone." "I won't be alone, sweetheart," I said. "They're here. They'll always be here." Those were her last words. She died an hour later. I was alone, in the house on Beacon Hill. Every corner was Mary. Every room was a memory. I couldn't stay any longer. Brandon suggested, "Dad, live with us. The house is too big for you, temporarily, maybe a year. See your grandchildren, be with us. Don't be alone." I accepted, because I was afraid of loneliness, of silence, of Mary's absence. I moved. I rented the house in Seattle. I came to Bellevue. It was supposed to be temporary. 3 years have passed. 3 years of temporary. And now I know it wasn't temporary. It wasn't forever. I was just being used. I couldn't sleep that night. I lay in bed, the narrow bed in the guest room, with the old pillows, the thin blanket. But my eyes were open. The ceiling was dark. Shadows danced. Headlights from cars outside the window. Streetlights. Numbers spun in my mind. Habit. An engineer's brain. Everything in numbers, calculations, analysis. How much had I spent on Brandon? Over my entire life, since the day he was born. I made a list, a mental list. Each item one by one. Education. High school, $4,000. University, $80,000. Post-university, $5,000. Total, $89,000. Living expenses, 18 years at home, $270,000. Special expenses. First car, $12,000. Electronics, $10,000. Travel, gifts, $15,000. Wedding, $32,000. Mortgage guarantee, $85,000. Current living, 3 years. Groceries, $23,400. Baby supplies, $10,000. Repairs, $8,000. Other, $5,000. Grand total, $575,400. Almost $600,000. To Brandon, to my son. For a lifetime. And they wanted the rest. Power of attorney. Nursing home. Control. Mathematics didn't lie. The numbers were cold, clear, definitive, but something was missing from the numbers. Feelings, memories, love. The moment I first held Brandon. Michael's first steps. The Saturday mornings we spent together in the workshop. What was the value of these? Could they be expressed in numbers? But to them, these things had no value. There was only $670,000. And to get that number, they would declare me unfit. My eyes filled with tears. Again, for the third time that night. But this time I didn't cry, because something else was growing inside me. Resolve, I was Richard Thompson, 72 years old, a Boeing systems engineer, 45 years of solving problems. And now I was going to solve the biggest problem of all, protecting myself. I got up early the next morning, 5:30, before sunrise. Habit, from my Boeing days. Get up early, get ready for work, focus. I dressed quietly. My room was dark as usual. Outside, there was silence. The house was asleep. Brandon, Jennifer, the kids, they were all asleep. Good. I didn't need them, just myself. First, I grabbed my phone. I opened the WhatsApp group. The screenshots I took last night, 23 of them, were still in the gallery. It wasn't enough. I needed a backup. Multiple backups. I opened my email. I sent each screenshot to myself. Subject line: Evidence, date, November 27th, 2024. Then Google Drive. I created a new folder. Name: Legal Documents, Confidential. I uploaded all the screenshots. Finally, the USB drive. It was sitting in my bedside drawer, an old Toshiba 32 gigabyte. They gave it to me as a gift when I retired from Boeing. For memories, they said. It was ironic. Now it held different memories. I copied all the images to the USB. I double-checked. They were all there. They were safe. Think system. I learned it at Boeing. If one system fails, switch to the backup system. If both fail, the third backup. Never rely on a single point. Then I took out a notebook, an old notebook. Mary had bought it years ago, saying, "Write down your thoughts." I had never used it, but now I needed it. I wrote a plan, step by step, systematic. Step 1. Gather evidence, WhatsApp screenshots, email backup, Google Drive backup, USB backup. Step 2. Legal advisor, call Margaret Chen, show her the screenshots, learn about legal options, plan financial protection. Step 3. Financial security, freeze all bank accounts / change passwords, cancel power of attorney documents, prepare new power of attorney, trusted person, cut off credit card access. Step 4. Home loan guarantee, legally exit the guarantee, document. Brandon's breach of contract. Step 5. Return to Seattle. Notify tenant, 60 days. Plan move, leave Bellevue. Step 6. Change the will, remove Brandon and Michael. Arrange donations to charities. Designate new beneficiaries. Step 7. Record conversations with Brandon / Jennifer. Washington State allows one-party recording. Let them incriminate themselves. I read the plan. I read it again. Was anything missing? Had I forgotten something? Number. The plan was solid. It was systematic. That's how we managed projects at Boeing. Now it was time to implement it. At 7:30 a.m., I dialed Margaret Chen's number. I knew it was early. Lawyers usually open at 9, but it was worth a shot. It rang 8 times. Then voicemail. Margaret's voice, professional. Margaret Chen Law Office. Please leave a message. Margaret, this is Richard Thompson, Mary Thompson's husband. I have an emergency. Elder abuse by family. I need to speak with you today. Please call me back. My number is... The phone cut out. Someone answered the call. Richard? Margaret's voice, this time lively. My God, talking to you. It's been years. Did you say elder abuse? Yes, I said. My voice trembled. I couldn't control it. My son, my daughter-in-law. They're trying to have me declared incompetent, to steal my money. Silence. Then, Richard, come to my office at 10. Right now. Don't tell anyone. Not Brandon, not Jennifer. Just come. I'll be there. Thank you, Margaret. I hung up. My hands were shaking. but this time not from fear. Adrenaline, movement, progress. The system was working. I drove to Seattle. Morning traffic was heavy, as usual. Cars lined up on I-5. But it didn't matter. I was focused. Margaret's office was downtown. Smith Tower, 23rd floor. An old building from 1914. Historic. One of Seattle's landmarks. I got in the elevator. A narrow old metal elevator. It creaked as it went up. 23. The door opened. The reception area was small. A woman was sitting there. Young, maybe 30. How can I help you? Richard Thompson. I have an appointment with Margaret Chen. One moment. She picked up the phone. Mr. Thompson is here. Yes, okay. She turned to me. Last door on the left. I walked down the narrow corridor lined with law degrees and award certificates. I reached Margaret's door. It was open. I went inside. Margaret was at her desk. 60 years old, gray hair, serious face, but her eyes were warm. She stood up, extended her hand. Richard, come in. I shook her hand. Strong hand, a lawyer's hand. Please sit down. Tell me, from the beginning, what happened? I took the USB drive out of my pocket. I handed it to her. Look at these first. Margaret plugged it into the computer. She opened the screenshots. She read them, carefully, slowly. Her face changed, from neutral to shocked, from shocked to angry. She read for 10 minutes. She didn't speak. She just read. Finally, she looked up. Richard, she said, controlled anger in her voice. This is overt elder abuse, financial exploitation, planning fraud, a serious crime under Washington state. Or CW 74.34, up to 10 years in prison. And these are family members. The punishment is harsher. I knew. But hearing it was different. Brandon is your son, right? Yes. Jennifer is your daughter-in-law. Sarah is your mother-in-law. Michael is your other son. All of them. Margaret shook her head. Intrafamilial abuse is the most common, especially financial abuse. Children think they're owed. Dad was going to give it to me anyway. I'm just getting it early. They justify it to themselves. But power of attorney, having someone declared incompetent, that's not just getting it early. No, Margaret said firmly. It's theft. Plain theft, and we won't allow it. What can I do? Margaret opened her notebook. She picked up a pen. First, I ask, do you want to file a lawsuit against them? Police, court, criminal investigation? I thought, for a long time. Did I want to see Brandon in jail? My son, Mary's son? Number, it would hurt. Mary would turn in her grave. No, I said. I don't want a lawsuit. I just want to protect myself. I want to stop them. I understand. Then a defense plan. Not attack, defense, Margaret wrote. I watched. The lawyer's hand was fast, sleek, trained. First, financial accounts. Today, right now, freeze all bank accounts. Chase, Bank of America, wherever you have accounts. Go to the bank branches, say, security threat. Change your passwords. If Brandon or Jennifer have access, cut it off. Brandon has a credit card, an add-on card to my account. Cancel it. Today. Okay. Second, power of attorney. Do you have a signed power of attorney right now? No, I've never signed one. Good. But as a precaution, let's prepare a new power of attorney. Someone you trust. It could be me, or another lawyer, or a friend. Never Brandon. You, I said. I trust you, Margaret. She smiled, for the first time. Thank you, Richard. I'll prepare it. Third, credit guarantee. You guaranteed Brandon's home loan. Is it true you paid $85,000? Yes. Did he repay that debt to you? No. He said, "I'll pay you back later." He never did. Margaret took notes. Breach of contract. According to the guarantee agreement, if the debtor doesn't repay, the guarantor can call in the guarantee. The legal process is complicated but doable. I want to call in the guarantee. I'll start the process. Fourth, return to Seattle. You've rented the Beacon Hill house. Give the tenant 60 days notice. Move there. Leave Bellevue, Brandon's house. The sooner the better. I will. Fifth, and most important, change your will. Are Brandon and Michael the beneficiaries right now? Yes. Everything is split 50-50. Change it. Change it now. Take them out. Name other beneficiaries. A charity, a foundation, a hospital, whatever you want. But take Brandon and Michael out. I paused. This was the hardest decision. Because it was final. There's no going back. Are you sure? I asked. Not myself, Margaret. Richard, she said, looking me in the eye. They plan to put you in a nursing home. They plan to steal your money. They plan to have you declared incapacitated. They don't show you love. They don't show you respect. They just want your money. And if you leave your money to them, even after you die, you reward them. You reward betrayal. Is that right? Number. It wasn't right. Change it, I said. Change my will. Margaret smiled. Good decision. Now who do you want to leave it to, I thought. Sophia and Emma, my granddaughters. I could leave it to them. But they were young. Brandon and Jennifer would control the money. Number. Seattle Children's Hospital, I said. Mary was treated there. Good people. They help children. I want to donate it there. How much? $500,000. Margaret raised her eyebrows. That's very generous, Richard. Are you sure? I'm sure. Brandon and Michael won't get it. But the children, the sick children, they will. Maybe a child will live because of my money. Maybe a family will be happy. This is what Mary would have wanted. Margaret's eyes filled with tears. Mary was lucky, Richard, to be married to you. I was lucky, I said. Without her, I was nothing. She took note. Okay. Seattle Children's Hospital, $500,000. I'll prepare the paperwork. One last thing, Margaret continued. Recording. Washington State is a one-party recording state. That means you can record someone without their knowledge. When Brandon or Jennifer talk to you, especially about doctor appointments or power of attorney, start recording your phone. They won't notice. Everything they say is evidence. How do I record? Margaret took out her phone. Your phone has a voice recording app. I'll show you. She showed me. It was simple. Just an icon, a button. Recording starts. Practice, she said. Try it a few times. You need to get used to it. I tried it. Twice. 3 times. It was easy. Good, said Margaret. Now I'll prepare the documents. The power of attorney, the will amendment, the guarantee claim, everything. I'll bring them to you tomorrow. You sign them, we get them notarized, we file them. How long will it take? A week, maybe 2. But the important thing is to start immediately. Go to the banks today, protect the accounts today. Tomorrow, Brandon will mention a doctor's appointment. Refuse. Say, I feel fine. If he insists, say, I prefer my own doctor. Never go to the doctor, Brandon suggests. Okay. And Richard? Margaret reached out, took my hand. You're not alone. I'm here. The law is with you. Brandon and Jennifer, they're wrong, and they'll lose. When I left the office, I could breathe for the first time in 3 days. The weight on my chest had lifted. It was still there, but it was bearable. There was a plan. There was a system. And I was good with systems. I went to the banks that afternoon. 3 banks. Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo. I said the same thing at each one. There's a security threat to my account. I want it frozen. I want to change my password. I want to remove the additional card holders. The bank clerks asked questions. What kind of threat, Mr. Thompson? Domestic. I can't give details, but it's serious. They understood, or at least they complied. Brandon's additional card was canceled. The Chase card had a limit of $10,000. This card will no longer work, said the clerk. The cardholder will be notified. Go ahead, I said. It doesn't matter. Passwords changed. New PIN codes, new security questions. Your mother's maiden name? Sullivan. Your first home address? Beacon Hill, Seattle. The accounts were secure. Brandon couldn't access them anymore. Jennifer couldn't access them. The system was protected. I returned to Bellevue at 6 in the evening, to Brandon's house, but it didn't feel like home anymore. Just a building, a temporary place. When I walked in, Jennifer was in the kitchen. She was cooking dinner, pasta, it seemed. Sophia and Emma were watching TV in the living room. Richard, Jennifer said, her voice tense. Where were you? You were gone all day. You turned off your cell phone. I hadn't turned it off. But maybe there was no signal. In Seattle, in bank branches, in meetings. I was in Seattle, I said. I didn't explain. Why should I? In Seattle? Again? Richard, you were in Seattle yesterday. What are you doing there? Personal business. Jennifer frowned. Personal business? Richard, we live here as a family. We should share everything. There can be no secrets. It was ironic. Very ironic. Jennifer, I said, my voice cold, controlled but cold. My personal business is mine. It's none of your concern. Her face changed, from surprise to anger. Nothing to do with me? I'm your family, your daughter-in-law, Brandon's wife. I know who you are, I said. I know very well. She fell silent. Something flashed in her eyes. Fear? Suspicion? What do you mean? She asked slowly. Nothing, I said. I'm just tired. I'm going up to my room. I walked up the stairs. Jennifer watched me. I could feel her gaze, but it didn't matter. Nothing mattered anymore. I entered my room. I closed the door, locked it. I sat down on the bed. I put my hands in my lap. I took a deep breath. The system was working, step by step. Margaret was right. A defense plan, not attack, protection. At 8 o'clock, there was a knock. Brandon. Dad? Can I come in? I paused. I didn't want to answer, but I couldn't run away forever. Come in. The door opened. Brandon came in. He was wearing work clothes, a shirt, pants. His face looked tired or guilty. Dad, he said, closing the door behind him, I need to talk to you. Talk. He sat down on the edge of the bed. Far away, at the other end. He put distance between us. Dad, Jennifer said you were in Seattle today and yesterday. What are you doing there? Is everything okay? Everything's fine, I said. I have some private business. What kind of private business? Private, I said. I don't have to tell you. Brandon looked uncomfortable. He rubbed his hands together. An old habit, something he did as a child when he was nervous. Dad, this is weird. You never acted like this. You used to share everything. But now you say, personal business. You go to Seattle. You don't talk to us. Something inside me snapped. The control I'd held for 3 days, cracked. Did something happen? I repeated, my voice rising. Yes, Brandon. Something happened. Something big. Brandon's face paled. What? What happened? I took my phone out of my pocket. I opened WhatsApp. I opened the Family Plans group. This, I said, holding out the phone. This happened. Brandon took the phone. He looked at the screen. He read. And his face turned ashen, pale as snow, frozen. Dad, I... Read it, I said. Read it all, Brandon. Every message. Every word. Then ask me again, did something happen? He read. Slowly. I could see his hands shaking. The phone was wobbling. He scrolled down. Further. Further. His face grew paler and paler. When he finished, he handed the phone back to me. His hands wouldn't hold it. The phone fell onto the bed. Dad, he whispered. I can explain. Explain, I said. Explain to me how you planned to have me declared incapacitated. Explain how you planned to get power of attorney. Explain how you lied to the neighbors. Explain how you planned to bribe the doctor. Explain, Brandon. Brandon's eyes filled. Tears. But was it real? Or manipulation? Dad, Jennifer was pressuring me. The bills were too high. The kids, the house, the car. Everything was so expensive. I was scared. We were in debt. And your money, your savings. I just thought, you could steal it, I said. I said the word. You could steal your father's money. No! Brandon jumped up. No, Dad, not steal, just take it early. It'll be yours someday anyway. When I die, I shouted. My voice echoed in the room. When I die, Brandon. When I die, that money will be yours. But you can't wait. You can't wait for me to die. Or worse, put me in a nursing home. No, Dad, it's not that bad. It is that bad. I stood up. For the first time in 3 days, I felt real anger. You wanted to make me look senile. You lied to the neighbors. You planned to bribe the doctor. You planned to put me in a nursing home. The cheapest one, as Sarah said. And you planned to steal my money. This is a crime, Brandon. A crime! Brandon collapsed to the floor. On his knees. He literally collapsed. He brought his hands to his face and began to cry. I'm sorry, he sobbed. I'm sorry, Dad. I was scared. Jennifer pressured me. We have debts. I wanted to be a good father. I wanted to give the kids everything. But I didn't have the money. And you were there. You had the money. I just thought... You didn't think, I said coldly. You planned it. Systematically. The doctor, the court, the power of attorney, everything was planned. And I was just an obstacle to be overcome. No, Dad. Go, Brandon, I said. For the last time. My voice was final. Get out of my room. Now. But Dad, go! He left. He stumbled, got up, walked to the door. He looked back once. A hopeful look. A look seeking forgiveness. But he saw nothing on my face. The door closed. I was alone. And for the first time in 3 days, maybe 3 years, I realized I was truly alone. But this loneliness was different. It was chosen loneliness. Honorable loneliness. It was better. Much better. I didn't sleep that night. I lay in bed, but my eyes were open. At 3 o'clock, I got up. Quietly. I found my suitcase on top of the wardrobe, dusty. I gathered my clothes. A few shirts, pants, a sweater, an old man's clothes. All I needed. I put my books in a box. Engineering books, math references, old Boeing manuals. I took Mary's photo carefully, wiped the glass. We're leaving, sweetheart, I whispered. We're going home. 1 box filled up. 2 boxes. 3. All my belongings. They fit into 3 boxes. 3 years of life. 3 boxes. How little it was. Morning came. 7 o'clock. I went downstairs. Jennifer was in the kitchen making coffee. She turned when she saw me. Good morning, Richard. Good morning. Silence. A strange, tense silence. Richard, she said finally, her voice soft. Brandon said you talked to him. I want to explain. The group messages, they were a joke. We weren't serious. We were just venting. Don't lie to me, I said, quietly but sharply. Jennifer, please don't lie to me. Out of respect for me, tell me the truth. She fell silent. Her eyes dropped to the floor. The doctor's appointment, I said. Were you going to tell me today? Were you going to say routine checkup? She hesitated. Then she nodded, very slightly. Yes. I'm not going, I said. I'm never going, Jennifer. To your doctor, to your plan, to your trap. I know everything, and I'm protecting myself. Richard, I'm moving in 2 weeks, I said, sharp, clear, to Seattle, to my own home. I'm not staying here anymore. I'm not living with you anymore. Jennifer's face changed, from shock to anger. You can't move out. This is your home. You're here. Your family. I'm not, I said. I'm not family, Jennifer. I'm just a source of money, an ATM machine. And that machine isn't working anymore. I turned. I walked out of the kitchen. Jennifer yelled something after me, but I didn't hear it. It didn't matter. I went upstairs, to my room. I needed to call the tenant in Seattle. 60 days notice. I took out my phone, found the number. Mr. Anderson. I called. It rang 4 times. Then he answered. Hello? Mr. Anderson. This is Richard Thompson. I own the Beacon Hill house. Ah, Mr. Thompson. Hello, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. Mr. Anderson, I want to let you know, I want to move back into the house in 60 days. For myself. Please don't take this the wrong way. You're a wonderful tenant. But I need the house for personal reasons. Silence, then. I understand, Mr. Thompson. Of course. 60 days is fine. By the end of December? Perfect. Thank you for your understanding. No problem. I hope everything is well. It will be, I said. Thank you, Mr. Anderson. I hung up. It was done. The Seattle house would be empty in 2 months, and I would be returning. Home. Real home. On the 4th day, Michael called. The phone rang at 1 in the afternoon. I looked at the number. Michael Chen. He hadn't called in 2 years. Now he was calling. Why? I answered. Hello? Dad? Michael's voice. Nervous. It's Michael. Can we talk? You can talk. Dad, I heard from Brandon that you left, that you went back to Seattle, and that you filed a debt lawsuit. That's right. It's all true. Silence, then. Why, Dad? Why did you do that? You know why, Michael. You saw the WhatsApp group. You read the messages. You wrote, we're splitting it 3 ways, right? Remember? I remember. His voice broke. And I'm sorry, Dad. I shouldn't have written that message. I was just talking to Brandon. I wasn't serious. But you wrote it, Michael. You thought it. You planned it. You planned how to divide my money, the work of my life. It was just a number to you. But to me, it was my life. I know, Dad. And I'm so sorry. But what happens now? Brandon will lose the house. The kids, Sophia and Emma, where will they go? I don't know, Michael. But that's Brandon's problem, not mine. But Dad, you can help. You can forgive the money. You can wipe out the debt. And then? I said. Then what, Michael? Will Brandon learn his lesson? Will he change, or will he say, Dad forgave me, everything's fine now, and then make the same mistake again in 5 years? Silence. Because Michael didn't know the answer. Michael, I said more softly, you're not Brandon. You didn't actively participate in the plans, but you remained silent. Silence is also a crime, but a lesser one. I'm still giving you a chance. What do you mean, Dad? I mean, we can talk. You and me. Maybe we'll have coffee. Maybe we'll have dinner. Slowly, very slowly, we'll build something. Trust, a relationship. But first you have to be honest. With yourself, with me. Okay? Okay, Dad, Michael said. There was hope in his voice. When? I'll let you know. When I'm ready. Thank you, Dad. Thank you for giving me a chance. I hung up. On the 6th day, Jennifer called early in the morning. Richard? Jennifer's voice. Broken. Tired. Can we talk? Please, just 5 minutes. Talk. She took a deep breath. Richard, I know you're angry with me. You have every right to be. We, me and Brandon, did terrible things. We planned it. We conspired. And you found out. And you left. Rightfully so. I was silent. I listened. But Richard, Brandon is falling apart. He's really falling apart. His work performance has dropped. His boss warned him. He's not eating. He's lost weight. He's not sleeping 4 hours a night. He's not talking to the kids. They're scared. And I don't know what to do. What do you want me to do, Jennifer? I don't know. Maybe call him once, talk, listen, maybe forgive. Forgiving isn't easy, Jennifer. It takes effort. It takes time. I know, but Richard, Brandon is your son. No matter how angry you are, he's still your son. And as a father, please, don't lose him completely. I didn't lose him, Jennifer. He lost me. He made choices. He's living with the consequences. I know, but the consequences are heavy. The house will go. Maybe the marriage will go. Maybe Brandon himself will go. You understand, don't you? He has very dark thoughts. Dark thoughts. What did she mean? What do you mean, Jennifer? Silence. Then, very quietly, suicide, Richard. He's thinking about suicide. I found him last night in the garage. The engine was running. The door was closed. I got there in time. I stopped him. But next time I might not be in time. The world stopped. Suicide. My son, Brandon. He was thinking about suicide. When? I asked. My voice was robotic. Last night. Midnight. He couldn't sleep. He went down to the garage. I woke up, a strange feeling. I went down. I saw him, in the car, engine running, eyes closed. I screamed. I pulled him out. He cried. He cried for hours. Did he go to the doctor? No, he refused. I'm fine, Simon, he says. But he's not fine, Richard. Not at all. Silence, a long, heavy silence. What do you want me to do? I asked again. Call him. Just call him. Talk to him. Maybe if he hears you, your voice, maybe he'll remember. He'll find a reason to live. I'll think about it, I said. Please, Richard. Think fast. We're running out of time. She hung up. I was left there, phone in my hand, frozen, shocked. Brandon, suicide. My son wanted to die. And I was far away, punishing him. Was I letting him die in silence? Number. No, that couldn't be. I picked up the phone. I called Brandon. This time I left a message. Brandon, it's Dad. Jennifer called. I know what's going on. I know you're having dark thoughts. But son, listen to me. Don't do it. Please don't. Life, no matter how hard it gets, is worth living. For your kids. For Sophia and Emma. They love you. They need you. Please, talk to me. Let me know. Do something. But please don't hurt yourself. Please, son, please. I left the message, my voice trembling, broken. Then I waited. No answer. On the 7th day, exactly 28 days later, There was a knock at my door. It was 7 in the evening. It was dark outside. It was raining. Seattle rain, always the same. I opened the door. Brandon was there. I was shocked because I wasn't expecting him. 8 days without a message, a call, any contact. Now he was there, at my door. But his state was terrible. He was wet, his hair wet, his jacket dripping. His face was pale, like he was sick. His eyes were sunken, no sleep, no peace. His beard had grown out. Maybe he hadn't shaved in 10 days. He had lost weight, maybe 5 pounds, maybe 10. He was 47 years old, but he looked 60. "Dad," he said. There was no pleading in his voice, just exhaustion, deep, bone-deep exhaustion. "Can we talk? Please." "Come in," I said. He came in. He stood in the hallway. Drops, rainwater on the floor. He was shivering. He was cold. Or maybe just his soul was cold. "Sit down," I said. "I'll get you a towel. I'll make some coffee." "No need, Dad. I won't stay long. I just wanted to say something." "Say it." She looked at me. Her eyes were full, but she didn't cry. It was as if even her tears had run dry. "Dad, today is the last day. 28 days are up. The lawyer sent an email. $92,000 has not been paid. Foreclosure is beginning. The house will be put up for sale within 10 days. I read the email. Then I showed it to Jennifer. She cried. The kids asked, "Mom, why are you crying?" We didn't know what to say. I was silent. I listened. "I don't have any money, Dad." "None at all. I tried everything. Credit, denied, loans. No one would give me any. Sarah, she won't even answer the phone. Michael." "I'm sorry, Brandon, but I can't help you," he said. "My employer. I asked for an advance. They refused. I knocked on every door, Dad. They were all closed." "So what are you going to do?" I asked. "I don't know. The house will go. We'll find a place to rent. Small, cheap. The kids will change schools. Maybe even change cities. Maybe Jennifer will leave me." Brandon bowed his head. His shoulders shook. He was crying, silently but deeply. "Dad," he said, his voice hoarse, "you know what I did last night?" I knew. Jennifer had told me. The garage, the car, the engine. "Yes," I said. "Do you know why I stopped? Why I didn't do it? Because I thought of Sophia. When she wakes up in the morning, 'Where's Daddy?' she'll ask. And Jennifer. What will Jennifer say? 'Your daddy died. He killed himself.' Number. I can't do that to her. I can't do that to Emma." He stood up. He came closer to me. 3 steps. 2 steps. 1 step. "Dad," he said, his voice now pleading, desperate. "What do you want me to do? Tell me. I'll do anything. Therapy, I'll go. Counseling, I'll see someone. Change jobs, I'll change jobs. Move cities, I'll move. Whatever you want. Just give me a chance. One last chance, please." I looked at him. My son, my 47-year-old son. I saw him, I really saw him. Not just his mistakes, not just his betrayal. I looked at him, at the person, the broken, defeated, helpless person. And something inside me softened. It wasn't anger anymore. It wasn't pain. Just sadness. Deep sadness. "Brandon," I said, "sit down." He sat down, on the couch. I sat across from him. "Brandon," I said, I'm going to ask you something. Answer me honestly. Why did you do it? Why did you plan to exploit me? Why did you consider having me declared incapacitated? Was it for the money? Just for the money? He thought. He thought for a long time. At first, he said finally, yes, it was for the money. Jennifer and I, we were in debt. Credit cards, mortgage, cars, more debt every month, more stress every month. And your money, your $670,000, was just sitting there, not being used. Why wait, Magent, I thought. Dad's old anyway. He'll die in a few years. Then the money will be ours. Why not take it now? He paused. But then, he continued, then something changed. As the plan progressed, the WhatsApp group arranging the doctor, lying to the neighbors, something inside me changed. It wasn't just about the money anymore. It was control. I'm making the decisions. I'm in charge. Dad is old, weak. I am strong. That's how I felt. And it felt good. For the first time in a long time, I felt powerful. But it was wrong, Dad. Very wrong. Because power, real power, isn't about making someone else look weak. Real power is being yourself. For the first time in 8 days, Brandon was telling the truth, the painful truth, but the honest truth. Brandon, I said, I'm going to make you an offer. One and final offer. Listen carefully. He nodded. I'm listening, Dad. $92,000. I'll pay it. I'll stop the foreclosure. The house will be saved. Brandon's face lit up. Really, Dad? You'll really do it? Yes, but there are conditions. Anything, Dad. Whatever conditions you want. First, therapy. You and Jennifer. Family therapy. 6 months. Every week. If you miss even one session, the deal is off. Okay, deal. Second, this is the last time. The last financial help. No more money. No more debt. You're going to stand on your own 2 feet. Understood? Understood, Dad. Third, Sophia and Emma. I want to see them once a month. Lunch. Without you and Jennifer. Just me and them. Agreed? Agreed, Dad. They miss you. They miss you a lot. Fourth, most important, trust. Brandon, right now, I don't trust you. Not at all. Trust is earned. It takes time, maybe years. But if you work at it, really work at it, maybe one day I'll trust you again. Maybe one day we'll be father and son again. But right now there's only the agreement, the legal agreement, not the emotional one. Do you understand? Brandon nodded. I understand, Dad. And I accept. I accept every condition. He stood up. He approached me. He wanted to hug me. I stepped back. Not yet, Brandon. First, change. First, proof. Then, maybe, we'll hug. Brandon paused. He nodded. I understand, Dad. You're right. Call Margaret tomorrow. She'll draw up the agreement. You'll sign it. The money will be in your account within a week, okay? Okay, Dad. Thank you, You need to go now, Brandon. I'm tired. Yes, Dad. I'm going. But can I say something? Go ahead. I love you, Dad. I always have. I was a bad son. I was selfish. But my love was real. And it still is. My eyes filled, but I didn't show it. I know, I said simply. Good night, Brandon. Good night, Dad. He left. The door closed. I was alone. And I cried. For the first time in a long time, maybe since Mary, I really cried. Because forgiving, truly forgiving, was painful. Very painful. But it was right. I knew it was right. 6 months passed. 180 days. One step each day. Forward. Slowly, but forward. Brandon went to therapy. He proved it. Sent bills every week. Sent session notes. Dr. Susan Miller, family therapist, specialist. Progress was slow, but it was there. Brandon called at the end of the first month. "Dad, therapy is really hard. Dr. Miller asks questions, tough questions. Why did you want to use your dad? Why weren't you enough? Why does money define you?" Sometimes I can't answer. But I'm learning. I'm learning a lot about myself. Another call at the end of the second month. "Dad, Dr. Miller used a term, entitlement complex. Sense of entitlement. She said, I think everything belongs to me. Your money, your house, your time, all of it is my entitlement. But that's wrong. Nothing is an entitlement. Everything is earned. I understand now." Jennifer called at the end of the third month. "Richard, thank you. Brandon is changing. He really is. He's more patient, more attentive. He spends more time with the kids. He talks to me, really talks to me. For the first time in years, we're happy. Not because of you, just on our own." At the end of the fourth month, I saw Sophia and Emma. First meeting, at a pizza place in Bellevue, the kids' favorite, at 2 o'clock. Brandon and Jennifer brought them, but they didn't come in. They just dropped the kids off. "1 hour," said Brandon. "Then we'll come back and get them." Okay. Sophia and Emma, 4 and 3 years old. They had grown. Sophia was taller, more talkative. Emma was braver, more independent. "Grandpa!" they both shouted. They came running. I hugged them, tightly, their little bodies warm, soft. "My princesses," I said. "I missed you so much." "We missed you too, Grandpa," said Sophia. "Why didn't you come for so long?" "Grandpa had work to do, sweetie. But now I'm here. And we're going to eat pizza." We ate. We talked. We laughed. Sophia told me about her school, her teacher, her friends, her favorite class, art. Emma told me about her toys, dolls, cars, Lego. They asked for stories. "Grandpa, tell us a story." "An airplane story," I told them. "Boeing stories, how planes fly, how they're made." Their eyes lit up. "You're so smart, Grandpa," said Sophia. An hour passed quickly, very quickly. Brandon came to pick them up. "Thanks, Dad," he said. "You're welcome. Next month again?" "Yes, definitely." Sophia and Emma hugged me one last time. "We love you, Grandpa." "I love you too, my princesses. Very much." I saw them every month. Sometimes pizza, sometimes the park, sometimes ice cream. Each time, each meeting, the bond grew stronger. Trust increased. Love deepened. I visited Seattle Children's Hospital regularly, twice a month. Dr. Nguyen had called me after Margaret finalized the donation. "Mr. Thompson, we'd love to show you what your generosity is accomplishing." The first visit changed everything. I met Lily, 7 years old, bald from chemotherapy, a colorful bandana on her head. She was in bed, pale but smiling. Her mother, Maria, sat beside her, young, maybe in her 30s, tired but hopeful. "Mr. Thompson," said Dr. Nguyen, "let me introduce you. This is Lily Martinez and her mother, Maria. Lily has leukemia. The treatment is very expensive, $100,000. The family couldn't afford it. But thanks to your donation, Lily is receiving treatment completely free of charge. Her chance of recovery is 80%. Lily looked at me. Big brown eyes. Tired but curious. "Hello?" she said. A thin voice. A child's voice. "Are you Uncle Robert?" My throat tightened. "Yes, sweetie. I'm Robert." "Thank you," said Lily. She smiled, a weak but beautiful smile. "The doctor said you helped me. I had no money, but you gave it. Now I will get better." The doctor said so. My eyes filled with tears. I couldn't control them. The tears came, but this time they were tears of happiness. "Yes, sweetie," I said, kneeling down to her level. "You will get better. I promise. And then you'll run. You'll play. You'll go to school. You'll do everything." "Are angels real?" Lily asked innocently. "I don't know, sweetheart. But you are real. And special. Very special." Lily's mother, Maria, was crying, silently. "Mr. Thompson," she said, "I don't know how to thank you. You saved my daughter. We had no money. We were in debt. We were going to lose our home. But you came like an angel, and everything changed." "You're welcome," I said. But words weren't enough, because this was bigger than the pain Brandon had caused. This was meaningful. This was important. I met other children over the following months. Tommy, 8 years old, heart disease. He was having surgery in 5 days. "I'm scared," he said, "but I'll be brave." For you, Jessica, 10 years old, brain tumor. She was undergoing radiation therapy. "My hair is falling out," she said, "but it doesn't matter, because I'm alive." Carlos, 6 years old, leukemia, 2nd round of chemotherapy. "I'm a superhero," he said. "I'm going to beat cancer." Each one, every child, was a story, a miracle, and I was part of their story. When I left the hospital after that first visit, I turned to Margaret, who had come with me. "Did you see?" I said. "Did you see them?" "That's it. That's where my money should go, not Brandon, Lily, Tommy, Jessica, Carlos, them." "You're right, Richard," Margaret said. "You're absolutely right." But I still had a weight inside me, because Brandon was still there, still struggling, still changing. And me, what was I supposed to do? At the end of the 6th month, Brandon called again. "Dad, therapy is over. 6 months, 24 sessions. We got a certificate, successfully completed. Dr. Miller said we made significant progress. Our relationship is healthier. Our communication is more open. And I'm a different person now." "Good," I said. "I'm proud of you, Brandon." "Dad, can we have coffee?" "Just the two of us. I want to talk, face to face." I hesitated, but then I agreed. "Okay, Saturday, 3 o'clock, Pike Place Market." Saturday came. The weather was sunny, a rare Seattle day. Blue sky, white clouds, warm. Pike Place Market, the heart of Seattle. Tourists, vendors, fishermen. Noisy but lively. I sat down at a cafe. Starbucks, the first Starbucks from 1971. A historic place. Brandon showed up at 3:05, not on time, 5 minutes late. But he came. He had changed. He had changed a lot in 6 months. He looked healthier. He had gained weight. His face was refreshed. His beard was clean. His hair neat. In his eyes, there was peace in his eyes. For the first time in 6 months, maybe years, peace. "Hi, Dad," he said before sitting down. "Hello, Brandon. Would you like some coffee?" "Yes, please. An Americano, black." I ordered. They arrived. We sipped our coffee. Silence, but a comfortable silence. Not tense. "Dad," Brandon finally said, "it's been 6 months. A lot has changed. And I want to tell you something. I'm listening." "I'm sorry," he said. Simple words, but deep, real. "I'm sorry for everything. The WhatsApp group, the plans, the betrayal. It was all my fault. Jennifer is also to blame. Yes. But I'm the one primarily responsible. Because I'm your son, I should have known you, respected you. But I didn't. And I'm very, very sorry." His eyes were filled with tears, but he didn't cry. He was controlling himself. I accept, I said. I accept your apology, Brandon. And do you forgive me? I thought. I thought deeply. Forgiveness, I said slowly, isn't easy. It takes effort. It takes time. But Brandon, yes, I forgive you. Because you've changed. You've truly changed. I've seen it. In our meetings with Sophia and Emma, in the treatment reports, in Jennifer's phone calls. You're not the old Brandon anymore. You're a new person. A better person. Tears welled up in Brandon's eyes. Thank you, Dad. Thank you. But trust, as I said, trust is still being built slowly. Right now, I trust you 60%. Maybe by the end of the year, it will be 80%. Maybe in 2 years, it will be 100%. But it takes time. Do you understand? I understand, Dad. And I'm ready to wait, however long it takes. We drank our coffee. We talked. About life, work, the kids, normal stuff, father-son stuff. Does Sophia like school? I asked. She loves it. Her teacher is great. She has lots of friends. She comes home happy every day. How's Emma? Emma's a little wild thing. Brandon laughed. She runs everywhere, touches everything. But she's so adorable. Jennifer says she takes after me. Energetic. We laughed. Both of us. For the first time in 6 months, maybe years, we laughed together. Then Brandon looked at me seriously. Dad, there's something else I want to tell you. It's very important. Go ahead. I heard from Michael. About the hospital visits. Lily, Tommy, Jessica, Carlos. How you helped them. How you spent time with them. And I'm so proud of you, Dad. You're a real hero. Giving money is easy. But giving your time, giving your love, that's true generosity. My eyes welled up. Thank you, son. And Dad, one day, when Emma and Sophia are older, I'll take them to the hospital. I'll show them. Look, I'll say, your grandfather saved these children. He's a real hero. And they'll be proud of you. Just like me. I couldn't hold back anymore. Tears streamed down my face, but they were tears of joy. Brandon, I said, I love you. I always have. Even when I was angry, even when I was disappointed, I always loved you because you're my son, my first child, Mary's son, and now I'm proud of you. Brandon stood up. He came closer to me. He opened his arms. This time I didn't pull away. We embraced, father and son, for the first time in 6 months, maybe years. He held me, tight, deep. He rested his head on my shoulder. He was trembling, crying. I'm sorry, Dad, he sobbed. I'm so sorry. I know, son, I said, stroking his back. I know, and it's in the past now. We're looking forward now, together. We stayed like that. Maybe a minute, maybe 5. Time didn't matter. What mattered was that we were together, again, finally. A year passed, 365 days, every day a miracle. I lived in my house on Beacon Hill, alone, but I no longer felt alone, because my life was full. I saw Sophia and Emma every month. Sometimes Brandon and Jennifer came too, family dinners, but mostly just me and the grandchildren. Our special time. Brandon and I talked regularly. A phone call a week, coffee a month. Slowly, very slowly, we became father and son again. Michael, my younger son, visited often. Not every 2 years, every month. Dad, I missed you, he would say. I realized how wrong I was for so long. Now I value family. Seattle Children's Hospital grew. The Richard and Mary Thompson Fund helped 10 children the first year. The second year, 20. The plan for the third year was 30. Lily, the first girl I met, was completely cured. The cancer was gone. She was going to school now, like a normal child. But she didn't forget me. I visited her every month, and she greeted me with laughter. "Uncle Robert! Look how long my hair is." Tommy had started running after his surgery. He was playing soccer now. "Uncle, come to my game! I want you to watch me." Jessica's tumor was completely gone. She was working to become a doctor, only 10 years old, but her goal was clear. "I'm going to help children too, Uncle." Carlos, superhero Carlos, was in remission, strong, healthy. "I beat cancer, Uncle. I told you, seeing each one, every child filled my heart, because they were Mary's legacy, my legacy, and they were alive." One day, exactly 1 year later, Brandon sent a letter, handwritten, old-fashioned. I opened the envelope. There were 2 pages inside. I read them. "Dear Dad, today marks exactly 1 year, the day I came to your door. In the rain, helpless, broken. That day, you gave me one last chance, and I didn't want to waste that chance. A lot has changed in this year. I changed. Jennifer changed. Our relationship changed. Our outlook on life has changed. And it's all thanks to you." Therapy was hard. Facing myself, admitting my mistakes, changing, none of it was easy, but it was worth it. Because now I'm truly happy. For the first time in years. Not because of money, not because of a big house, not because of a fancy car, just because of family, because of Jennifer, Sophia, and Emma, and you. Sophia drew a picture yesterday, at school, in art class. Her teacher said, "Draw your family." Do you know what Sophia drew? You, me, Jennifer, Emma, and herself. We're all holding hands. We're all smiling. And most importantly, you're in the center. "Grandpa is the most important," she wrote underneath. I cried when I saw that picture. Because she's right. You are the most important. You always have been. Only I couldn't see it for a long time. I was blind. Money blinded me. Greed blinded me. But now I see. Dad, I know thank you isn't enough. Words will never be enough. But I'll try. Thank you for not abandoning me. Thank you for giving me one last chance. Thank you for continuing to love me, even when I didn't deserve it. And most importantly, thank you for being my father. You weren't a perfect father. Yes, sometimes you were too soft. You couldn't set boundaries. But you were always a loving father. You were always there. And now I'm working to be that father's son. One day, hopefully soon, I can call you friend instead of just dad. Because the real father-son relationship is friendship. Equal, respectful, loving. Yours in love, now understanding, always learning. Brandon, I finished the letter. My tears fell on the paper, but it didn't matter. Brandon understood. He finally understood. I picked up the phone. I called Brandon. "Hello, Dad?" "Brandon, I read your letter." "Thank you." "You're welcome, Dad." Every word came from my heart. "I know, son. And I'm proud of you. Very proud." "Dad, come to us on Saturday." "Dinner. It's Sophia's birthday. She's turning 5. She wants you. We all want you." I didn't hesitate. "I'll come. I'll definitely come." Saturday came, December 20th, Sophia's 5th birthday. Exactly 1 year ago, I had left. Now I was returning. I drove to Bellevue. Familiar roads, familiar streets, but this time it felt different. No fear, no anger, just excitement. Excitement to see my granddaughter. I arrived at Brandon's house. I parked. I looked in the mirror before getting out. A 73-year-old man. White hair, wrinkled face. But in the eyes, there was life in the eyes. Still. "Are you ready, Richard?" I said to myself. "To return to the family?" I knew the answer. Yes, I was ready. I knocked on the door. It opened within seconds. Sophia was there, 5 years old, beautiful, bright. "Grandpa!" she shouted. She threw herself at me. I picked her up, small, light, perfect. "My princess! Happy birthday! Thank you, Grandpa. Come inside. There's a party." I went inside. The house I had left a year ago was the same but different. It seemed warmer, more loving. Jennifer came out of the kitchen. She smiled, a real, genuine smile. "Welcome back, Richard. We missed you." "I missed you too," I said. And it was true. Brandon appeared in the living room, Emma in his arms. "Hi, Dad. Come sit down." We sat down, all of us, in the living room, like a family. Michael had come too, especially from Seattle. "Hi, Dad." Couldn't miss Sophia's birthday. We brought out the cake, 5 candles. Sophia blew them out, in one breath. "I made a wish," she said. "What did you wish for, my princess?" I asked. "I can't tell you. Otherwise it won't come true." But she looked at me with her eyes. I knew what she wished for. Family. Being together as a family. The presents were opened. Toys, books, clothes. Sophia squealed with delight at each gift. "Thank you. It's so beautiful." My gift was opened last. A small box. Inside, a necklace, heart-shaped, gold-plated, engraved on the back. "Sophia, grandfather's princess." Sophia's eyes filled with tears. "Grandpa, this is so beautiful. The most beautiful gift." "You are more beautiful, my princess," I said. I put the necklace around her neck, her tiny neck, the sparkling necklace. It looked perfect. We had dinner, all together, at the table, the family table. Brandon bowed his head to pray. It was interesting. He didn't used to do that, but now he did. "God, we thank you for the food, for the family, for Grandpa. Without him, we wouldn't be here today. Give him health, peace, love. Amen." "Amen," we all said. We talked during dinner. We laughed. We told stories. Sophia talked about school. Emma talked about her toys. Brandon talked about work. He had been promoted. He was now a project leader. Jennifer had started a hobby class. She was painting. "Are you happy?" I asked Brandon, quietly, next to him. "We're very happy, Dad," he said. "For the first time, we're truly happy. Happiness without money. Just family happiness." After dinner, we moved to the living room. Sophia said, "Will you tell us a story, Grandpa?" "Of course, Princess." "Which story?" "The airplane story." "My favorite." I told it. Boeing stories. 747 stories. Sophia listened, eyes wide, mouth open. Emma listened too, even though she was little. Finally, around 9 o'clock, Sophia fell asleep, in my lap, her head resting on my shoulder. "I'll take her upstairs," said Brandon. "No," I said. "Let her stay a little longer." I missed this feeling. So we sat there. Me, Sophia, and everyone. Silence. But a beautiful silence. A peaceful silence. Jennifer said something quietly. "Richard, thank you. For everything. For forgiving us, for coming back." "You're welcome, Jennifer. Family forgives everything. Mary taught me that. And I learned Mary's lesson. I learned it late, but I learned it. I had to get up at 10 that night. I was tired, old age, but I was happy. "I have to go," Juan, I said. "Stay, Dad," said Brandon. "The guest room is ready. We'll have breakfast in the morning." I hesitated. The guest room. The room I left a year ago. "Okay," I said. "I'll stay." I went upstairs. I entered the guest room. It was the same, but it felt different. I was no longer a stranger. I was no longer a guest. I was family. I lay down. On the old bed. It wasn't comfortable, but it didn't matter. Because I was home. I was with family. Before falling asleep, I looked at Mary's photo. On my phone, my wallpaper. "See, sweetheart?" I whispered. "We're back. The family is reunited. You were right. Family forgives everything. Always." And I slept. Deep, peaceful sleep. For the first time in a year, maybe years, I slept with true peace. When I woke up in the morning, it was 7 o'clock. The sun was rising, slipping through the window. I got up, I got dressed, I went downstairs. Brandon was in the kitchen. He was making coffee. "Good morning, Dad." "Good morning, son." He gave me coffee. Hot, delicious. We drank it together, quietly, comfortably. "Dad," Brandon said, "I want to ask you something." "Ask." "Do you regret it?" "I mean all of it. Leaving, the lawsuit, the pain." "Do you regret it?" I thought. I thought long and hard. "No," I said finally. "I don't regret it. Because it was necessary. You learned a lesson. I learned one too. We learned about each other. We learned that love, true love, requires boundaries. It requires respect. And now we're a stronger family. A healthier family." Brandon nodded. "You're right, Dad. It hurts, but you're right." Sophia and Emma came downstairs, sleepy but happy. "Grandpa! You're still here!" "Yes, Princess. I'm still here. We had breakfast, all of us. Pancakes, eggs, fruit. Simple but nice. Then we washed the dishes together. Brandon washing, me drying, Sophia and Emma playing. A normal family. An ordinary morning. But for me, it was everything. After lunch, I got ready to leave. I have to go back to Seattle. My home. My own home. "We understand, Dad," said Brandon. "But come back next week. Sunday dinner. Let's keep the family tradition." "Let's do it," I said. "Every Sunday." At the door, one last time, Brandon hugged me. "I love you, Dad. I always will." "I love you too, son. And I'm proud. Very proud." I got in the car, started the engine, looked in the mirror. Brandon, Jennifer, Sophia, Emma in the back. They were waving, smiling. A family. My family. On the way to Seattle. On the road. I thought. About the past year. The pain, the separation, the loneliness. But then forgiveness, transformation, reunion. And I understood. Life isn't perfect. Families aren't perfect. People make mistakes. Serious mistakes. But true love forgives. True love sets boundaries. True love teaches but doesn't abandon. Mary was right. She was always right. Family is more important than anything, Richard. Always. 2 years passed. I was living in my house in Seattle. I was 75 now. Older, slower, but happy. Truly happy. We met with Brandon's family every Sunday. Sometimes at their house, sometimes at mine. Family tradition. Sophia was 7. She loved school. "Grandpa, I'm going to be an engineer." Just like you. Emma was 5. Energetic, cheerful. "Grandpa, will you play with me?" Michael had married. Finally, a beautiful woman. Sarah, a doctor, a good person. "Dad, you were right. Family, real family, is everything." The fund at Seattle Children's Hospital had grown. It was now helping 50 children, 50 lives, 50 miracles. Lily, the first girl I met, was now 10, completely healthy. She still visited. "Uncle Robert, I haven't forgotten you. I never will." One day, a sunny spring day, I went to the cemetery, to Mary's grave. The stone was simple. Mary Thompson, 1956 to 2019. Loving wife, mother, friend. I placed flowers, White roses, Mary's favorite. "Hello, sweetheart," I said. "I haven't been here in a long time." "I'm sorry, but I'm busy. With the grandchildren, the hospital, life." The wind blew, light, warm, as if Mary was answering. "Brandon has changed, sweetheart. He really has. He's become a good father, a good man. You would be proud of him." The wind blew again. "And I still love you. Every day, every second. But now I'm living, the way you wanted me to. Richard, live for me, you said. And I am, sweetheart. For the family, for the children, for myself." I stood in front of the grave for a long time. Then I turned to leave, but I said one last thing. "Wait for me, sweetheart. I'll be back soon, but not yet. I still have things to do. The grandchildren are growing up. The journey with Brandon continues. Lily and the other children, they're waiting for me. But one day, soon, maybe I'll come. And then we'll be together again. Forever." I walked away, from the cemetery to the sunny world, because life went on. And I would live, for Mary, for the family, for myself. Years later, at Brandon's house, we gathered for Thanksgiving. The whole family, Michael and Sarah with their new baby, Brandon and Jennifer, Sophia, now a teenager, talking about college, Emma, full of energy and dreams, and me, 78 years old, white hair, slower steps, but surrounded by love. As we held hands around the table, Brandon spoke. "I want to say something. Dad, when I was lost, you gave me boundaries. When I was weak, you showed me strength. When I betrayed you, you taught me accountability. And when I changed, you gave me forgiveness. You saved me, Dad. Not with money, with love. The hard kind, the kind that hurts but heals. Thank you." Sophia added, "Grandpa, you're my hero. Not because you're perfect, because you're real. Because you showed me that love means standing up for yourself. That family means respect, not just blood." I looked around the table, at each face, each story, each second chance. "I'm the lucky one," I said, "because I learned that the hardest love is the truest love. And that family, real family, is built on truth, boundaries, and forgiveness, not perfection." We ate, we laughed, we lived. And in that moment I knew this was Mary's dream. This was the promise I kept. Not the house, not the money, but this love that requires courage, family that requires honesty, and forgiveness that requires strength. That night, alone in my house, I looked at Mary's photo one last time. "We did it, sweetheart," I whispered. "We built something real, something that lasts." And I swear I saw her smile. Outside, the first snow began to fall. Soft, slow, quiet. Each flake drifted down like forgiveness. I closed my eyes. For the first time in years, I felt complete peace. If this story touched you, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever had to set boundaries with family to protect yourself? What did you learn? Let me know. Thanks for listening.